bit about our evolution from before the fire and kind of since, as far as operations and working with the kids.
Sweet. Yeah, so my name's Aaron. As Dan said, I grew up coming to the clubhouse. I grew up in Lahaina Town. We are an after-school program operating Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. or from after school to 7 p.m. And yeah, pre-fire, the kids would come in here. It'd be a little bit more full than it is now. After the fire happened, basically everything had to get thrown out. So it's a little empty, but we got some brand new things, as you guys can see. Got some cool brand new pool tables, a bunk pool table, foosball table, stuff like that. But yeah, kids would come in every day after school. Pre-fire, it probably served around 50 to 60 kids a day. Post-fire went kind of way down. We brought it back up to about, right now we're at 30 a day. We're not operating out of this building yet. The kids actually haven't been back in this building since the fire, like 17, 18 months ago. And we actually just recently came back in, what, 4 or 5 months ago, as far as the staff being able to come in and work out of the building. So yeah, we've been gone for 17 months.
Never stopped serving kids.
Never stopped serving the kids. You know, at the fire happened, and I got a call from the admin team, like, all right, like, hey Aaron, like, you know, we don't know what just the status of your club is right now. We didn't even know if it was still standing here. We didn't know. But you know, luckily we drove by one day, and somebody that drove by one day and they gave me a call and like, Aaron, the club's still there. Which is kind of cool, given that this wooden building here is still sitting right where we left it that day, and able to continue the mission, continue the work on helping out the kids of our community.
The hotels and the Bailey and
so. Yeah, we got a call and they're like, hey Aaron, do you guys, what do you want to do for your staff? Do you guys want to work at different clubs? I was like, no, we're not working at different clubs. Like, the kids are still here. So I think it was like a week after, and we set up shop at one of the parks that served as a hub for the community's families to go and get clothes, go and get groceries, stuff like that. And we went there Monday through Friday from 2 to 6 with just tables, some games, sports equipment, and a little piece of the field. And we were able to help the kids of that community, because at that point they weren't going to school yet. School wasn't open, so the kids were just there and they needed somewhere to go. So we were able to meet them where they were at and serve them at the Peely Park, which was super cool. After the Peely Park, we got into one of the hotels ran by Red Cross. So a lot of our families were housed in hotels for a few months, and we were at the Hyatt Regency in Kaanapali, and we were there for about, I'd say 3 months. But we then moved again to one of the schools up here. We moved to the intermediate school, so the 6th, 7th, 8th grade school, and we worked out of their band room for almost a year, where last September we moved into temporary classrooms at one of the elementary schools we're using. The school is called Lahaina III. They were located on Front Street. Their school burned down. They put up temporary classrooms for the students on that campus. That school moved out in April, so all those classrooms were empty, so we were able to actually get into 2 of those. And so we've been working out of there since September. And excitingly, we are going to be opening back up here at the club for the kids Tuesday, January 21st. So it's great timing that you guys are all here, because you guys all get to be a part of helping us get reopened. And this place is it's special for the kids and for the community that we serve, and the kids come here and they love it, and they're going to be able to see and feel and recognize kind of all the work that was done. So
We should probably stay here longer. So we can pay her for the opening, I think.
So the other thing that happened is I came on, my first day of work was April 1st, and already there was not, I wouldn't say talks, but a hint out there that EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency, was looking for a place. They were using the Civic Center in Lahaina as a recovery center with all kinds of different agencies operating out of it. And the Civic Center finally got around to saying, we kind of want to be a Civic Center again. You guys gonna have to go find somewhere else to operate. And a lot of the places, they didn't know where they were gonna go, including the EPA. And so EPA approached us and said, is there any chance we could come into that building of yours down on Shaw Street? And we said, let's sit down and talk. And they said, well, if you let us use this as their operations. EPA was working first on wastewater, but their biggest thing was restoring drinking water and usable potable water to the community. So they were testing all the water all over the community. And so they said, if we could use your building, we will do this, 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 and this for you. And we were like, well, that sounds like a win-win, you know? Because this building had been tested by special science people, right? And a lot of stuff was toxic. Like Aaron said, we threw away most of the stuff, right? You know? So EPA came in. First thing they did is they removed every ceiling tile in the building because those were toxic, and they didn't want their workforce in here with that. They work with another for-profit group that they EQM or something, and those people are specialists in cleanups after environmental disasters. They did a lot of the work too, and you couldn't ask for better people to clean your building, right? EPA and this EQM group, they were the best. They cleaned from ceiling to floor. They eventually repainted the entire inside with a special kind of seal on it. They disposed of all of our stuff that needed to be disposing of, which would have been a headache for us. They've got contacts, you know, they got their ways. They were able to get contractors in on different things that it's hard to get a contractor right now to do anything. They did tens of thousands of dollars worth of work to our air conditioning system for us. They cleaned the ducts, sealed the ducts, got the, you know, it was just a great win-win situation. And so they moved out about 6 months ago now. And there's just been some different setbacks that have prevented us from moving in. And the other concern we've got is, you know, the school that Aaron talked about, the modulars, King Kamehameha III, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but they built an entire campus out by the airport out of containers. Have you guys seen it?
No.
Oh, it's amazing. It's an entire school campus made of containers, and when you step into them, you don't feel it really like you're in a container. They got drop ceilings, they got walls. You know, it's an amazing. It was an award-winning project. So if you guys get a chance,
cool.
I don't know about getting on it. You'd have to get permission to get on their campus. But Kamehameha III used to sit right down here in our neighborhood, and of course it's gone, right? And they're not going to rebuild there. But what I'm getting at is, when we were here before, which is before my time, Aaron's time, there was a neighborhood here, and there was Kamehameha III school. They walked. There's no neighborhood here anymore. You know, there's no neighborhood, there's no Kamehameha III. So now the kids are going to have to come down here on a bus. This community has it's called MEO. It's a nonprofit that runs transportation. Amazing job for seniors, kids, all kinds of people, moving people around the island free of charge. So it won't cost families any money, but they're going to have to send their kids down here on the bus. Now they can just walk to us. We're at the middle school, the grade school, the middle school, and the high school are all clumped together. Everybody can just walk to us. They aren't going to be able to do that anymore now that we're here. We also weren't sure how people were gonna feel about coming down here. This is kind of in the middle of some or much of the devastation. But what happened was when first the highway opened, and then the park opened, and right after the park opened, the Pop Warner football program started coming back down here. And I'm sitting here, when I started here, this was all in the burn zone. You had to have a placard to come through. I wouldn't see anybody. And all of a sudden, there's 4 or 5 football teams out there practicing, and you just felt the community come back to life. And our concern over, will people come back here? That was pretty much answered when we saw them swarm to the park and that program going. And so yeah, we're on the verge of getting going. And so we've gotten a lot done. There's not, I was saying to Sean, we get kind of little jobs, but let me tell you some of what we got in mind today.